Cook Burgess. It's not just property, it's personal.
Hey guys, Paul here from Cook Burgess, and in this video I'm going to try and have a bit of a crossover between my day job as a doctor and my day job as an entrepreneur, and I hope you find something in this video that will help you. It's all about sleep. So sleep, we all need it, most of us don't get enough, and cutting down on sleep is one of the most common ways of getting more out of our day. We've all heard of the sayings, burning the midnight oil, burning the candle at both ends, and this is pretty apt really, because if we do this for too long, all that's going to burn out is us. What's the point of being sat on a successful property portfolio if you're too worn out, burnt out and broken to enjoy it? Exactly. I mean, sales of energy drinks have gone through the roof. I mean, who wishes that they'd have bought shares in Red Bull? But the short-term fixes, guys. You get tired, you drink 1, 2, 3 of these stimulants, then you can't sleep at night, so you have a couple of beers or a glass of wine, then you wake up the next day feeling groggy, and you can't even speak to somebody without guzzling a coffee in the car on the way to work. Sound familiar? So this is why in this short video, I want to share with you what is sleep and why is sleep so important, the different kinds of sleep, the benefits of sleep, how to beat insomnia, being unable to sleep, and how to get more out of your day so that you can switch off at 9 PM in order to have a proper sleep. I feel I'm pretty well qualified to talk about this, as I'm a doctor of medicine. I've always worked night shifts, I've got a busy personal and sporting life, and I currently run 3 successful businesses. I've been sleep deprived, and I'm well aware of how this has an adverse effect on performance. So all these glossy fitness magazines and the latest diet fads tell us how important exercise and weight loss is to transform our lives. It is, but sleep is just as important. Whilst there are a few machines out there that have been very successful on little sleep, such as Jack Dorsey, the Twitter founder, who lives off 4 to 6 hours a night, these people are extremely rare, and they are by no means the norm. It's recommended that adults sleep for about 7 to 9 hours per night, but less than 40% of the population actually achieve this. So what is sleep, and why is sleep so important? The Oxford Dictionary defines sleep as a condition of body and mind which typically recurs for several hours each night, in which the nervous system is inactive, the eyes closed, the postural muscles relaxed, and consciousness practically suspended. But what exactly does that mean? The difficult one really, because no one is really 100% sure why as humans we sleep, but there's quite a few reasonable theories for its importance that have been put forward. One theory is energy conservation. Your core body temperature drops by 1 degree when you sleep, and as a result we use less energy in maintaining this. Another theory is that sleep has a housekeeping purpose, both mental and physical. Sleep facilitates the organisation of long-term memory and the integration of new information. This happens during REM sleep, where it's been shown that brainwave activity is similar to and sometimes even higher than when you're awake. Physical restoration occurs during sleep, repairing and renewing of tissues and nerve cells, neutralisation of toxins, and the restoration of levels of chemicals in the body. This occurs principally in non-REM sleep. The physical healing of wounds has been shown to be expedited by sleep, and sleep strengthens your immune system. In experiments where rats were deprived of sleep, they showed distinctly inferior healing capacities. They developed skin lesions, they lost weight, and they were unable to maintain their body temperature. And ultimately they just died of sepsis and exhaustion. And we all know that sleep deprivation has also been used as a form of torture. So even though it's not completely understood, I think we can all agree from the above things that it's pretty important we get enough sleep. So what are the different kinds of sleep? Well, human sleep occurs in 90-minute cycles, and this 90-minute cycle might happen 4 to 5 times per night. There's non-rapid eye movement sleep and rapid eye movement sleep. Non-rapid eye movement has 3 stages and accounts for about 80% of the time that we spend sleeping. As we pass from stages 1 through to stages 3, we're essentially falling deeper into sleep, and different things are happening inside our brains. Non-REM type 3 is when we sleepwalk, have nightmares, etc. REM sleep occurs for about 20 to 25% of the time we spend asleep, and during this time most of our muscles are paralysed. During this phase of sleep, we're at our most difficult to rouse and our brains are at their busiest. This is why we can have really vivid dreams during this phase. So we can start to see that at the beginning of non-REM sleep, we're at our lightest sleep, and by the time we get to REM sleep, we're in a really deep sleep. It takes a lot less to wake us from non-REM sleep stage 1 than it does to wake us from REM sleep, and this is why if you happen to be in REM sleep when the alarm goes off, even if you've had 4 to 5 cycles of good sleep over the last 9 hours, you could wake up feeling groggy and like you've had no sleep at all. That's where some of these new iPhone apps are coming from, where they think there's a link between the stages of sleep and how much your body moves. They feel they can track your body movements and predict the stage of sleep that you are in, thus waking you up in a lighter stage of your sleep rather than an old school alarm that just fires up at 6 AM whether you're in a deep sleep or a light sleep. Sleep debt or sleep deficit, this is another interesting concept. It's the cumulative effect of not getting enough sleep. A large sleep debt may lead to mental or physical fatigue for the reasons above. So if you sleep half an hour less every night, by the end of the week you owe your body 3.5 hours of sleep. That's a crazy thought, right? You know, I mean, as an investor, how long would you let it slide if you were getting further and further into debt every day? You wouldn't. So why should your health and your body be any different? So moving on, let's go into the benefits of sleep. I mean, how long have you got for this? There's so many benefits. You'll be happier. You sleep more, you wake up fresh, you feel happier. You'll build muscles easier. Most of the night your body is less metabolically active and uses this period to heal cells and tissues, growth hormones released, and you build muscles. You'll learn better and you remember things better. You'll be a better and a safer driver. We all know that driving when you're really tired is almost like driving when you're intoxicated. Your concentration and reaction times are really much worse. You'll stay fit. Multiple studies have shown that people who regularly sleep less than 7 hours a night are 7.5 times more likely to be overweight. You'll have better mood, less problems with depression, anxiety, healthier skin, less headaches, you'll make fewer mistakes at work, you'll feel less irritated, you'll have better reaction times, and also studies have shown you'll have fewer heart problems, decrease the risk of developing diabetes and other illnesses. And you can win at all these things just by sleeping. You don't need to go to the gym, you don't need to take classes, you just need to sleep. So, next chapter, how to beat insomnia, which is the inability to fall asleep or to stay asleep. To try and beat insomnia, we've got to first understand the circadian rhythm, or the body clock. It's essentially a 24-hour clock that tells our bodies when to sleep. It's hardwired into our bodies, but it can be adjusted by the external environment. Another big factor is melatonin. Now, melatonin is a hormone produced by the pineal gland in the brain. Melatonin's main job in the body is to regulate night and day cycles or sleep-wake cycles. Darkness causes the body to produce more melatonin, which signals the body to prepare for sleep. Light decreases melatonin production and signals the body to prepare for being awake. So the blue light from things like iPhones and tablets is really good at suppressing the production of melatonin, therefore pushing back the time that we fall asleep. So essentially the time you fall asleep has been shown to be massively affected by our exposure to blue light. So if you're struggling to fall asleep, busting out the iPhone and having a quick check of Facebook to help you fall asleep, you're basically just making things a whole lot worse. You should really avoid using things like tablets and iPhones before bedtime because this blue light is really good at suppressing melatonin production. Another thing you can do is avoid napping during the day because that can disturb the normal pattern of sleep and wakefulness. Avoid stimulants such as caffeine, nicotine and alcohol too close to bedtime. Whilst alcohol is known to speed up the onset of sleep, it also disrupts sleep in the second half as the body starts to metabolize and break down the alcohol, causing arousal. Exercise can promote good sleep. Vigorous exercise should be done in the morning or late afternoon, and a bit more of a relaxing exercise, maybe like yoga, before going to bed to initiate that restful night's sleep. Food can also be disruptive. Stay away from large meals close to bedtime. Also, dietary changes can cause sleep problems, and if you're struggling to fall asleep, it's not a good time to start experimenting with spicy foods such as curries. And also, guys, remember, chocolate has got loads of caffeine in it. Ensure adequate exposure to natural light during the day. This is particularly important for people who may work in offices and things that aren't exposed to natural light. Also, establish a regular bedtime routine. Try and avoid emotionally upsetting conversations and things just before going to bed, and don't dwell on them and bring problems to bed. Also, associate your bed with sleeping. It's not a good idea to use your bed to watch TV, to listen to the radio, to read, to work. Don't take your laptop to bed. And make sure that your sleeping environment is a quiet, pleasant and relaxing environment. It shouldn't be too hot and cold, and it shouldn't be too bright. So, next chapter, how to get more out of your day so that you can go to bed early and have a good night's sleep. So, things you can do in your daily routine at work is you can seek help. Is there things that you can delegate and leverage to other people? Don't get sucked into unnecessary meetings. If you don't need to be there, don't go. Create to-do lists. Again, you don't have to complete all the things on the to-do lists. See point 1, you can delegate to other people. Take regular breaks. Get rid of distractions. Turn those notifications all off. In my opinion, ditch the TV, get rid of it. Have specific times to look at email, in the morning maybe, and just before finishing work. Set yourself big goals, but don't kick yourself if you fall short. Remember, they were big goals for a reason. Reward yourself. If you work hard, then reward yourself and maybe finish early and do something relaxing on the way home so that you can go home relaxed. Constantly ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now moving me forwards? Spend a few minutes thinking that, and if it's not, don't do it. Change tact. And spend a few minutes at the end of the day planning your next day. Maybe do this on a paper journal, don't do it on a tablet or iPhone, and write down what you're going to do and plan your next day so that you're more productive the next day. There we go, bit longer than normal. I hope you guys found it useful. If you found it boring and you fell asleep, I'm also going to take the credit for that. Hopefully you've got something out of this, and if you have, I'll be really happy. And I'd really like you to let me know as well. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. And if there's only one thing that you can take from this, then I'll be super psyched. So yeah, please get in touch, and I'll be doing a couple more videos along this kind of doctory, kind of entrepreneur worky theme. If there's anything that you'd be interested in, let me know, and maybe I can try and do a video on that. But until next time, take care guys.